Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and we are coming up on the release of one of the most anticipated games of the year. I do not think that is hyperbole. I am incredibly excited for one Black Myth Wukong. This game was revealed 4 years ago, and I would be lying to you if 4 years ago your boy thought this game was coming out. I was for certain thinking, and this could be due to my intense pessimism when it comes to gaming these days, but I was so much thinking that this game was never gonna come out. It looks too good to be true, and you can shovel this aside with games like Star Citizen, with games like Lost Soul aside, with games like Deep Down, with games like Star Wars KOTOR Remake that they get announced, and it's incredibly exciting, but I don't think it's ever coming out. But guess what? Black Myth Wukong is coming out in just over a week. And you might be a little bit curious as far as what the system requirements for this game is, if you can run it on your PC. Now, Steam's store page does have minimum and recommended system requirements. However, that very much does not tell the entire story of Black Myth Wukong. They have a page that's a little bit buried where they go over the entire system requirements, the 6 tiers of system requirements, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But before we get into this video, I do want to let you guys know that our good friends at cdkeys.com does have Black Myth Wukong a little bit cheaper, and you can get the game discounted over there. You'll get a Steam key and you'll be good to go. So if you want the game, you want it a little cheaper, CD Keys is the spot to go, and you'll get the game even cheaper, considerably cheaper for a new release versus the Steam price point, and you'll get a Steam copy. So link in the description box below. You buy a copy, your boy gets a little bit of affiliate revenue, and that is much appreciated. Now let us talk these PC system requirements, because it is going to be a behemoth of a game to run depending on how you want to play the game. Now, the game is going to be fairly accessible if you do not care about maxing it out. If you do not care about enabling ray tracing, it's not going to be that difficult of a game to run, because we're going to go over the non-ray trace requirements, which we've got 3 tiers. Minimum, which notes for medium at 1080p, which credit to Game Science for actually outlining what minimum means. Outside of not having enough tiers for system requirements, the issue with system requirements a lot of the times is it's not actually outlined what those system requirements mean. Game Science has told us this for medium at 1080p. Would have preferred a frame rate being attached, but we can't have everything nice these days, so I'll take what I can get. But minimum, medium 1080p, Core i5 8400, Ryzen 5 1600, a GeForce GTX 1060 or an RX 580, and 16 gigabytes of memory. Nothing too surprising, although I would even say that the GPU being a 1060 or an RX 580, fairly tame. It's nice to see the 1060 and 580 are still kicking it as comparable GPUs. Given that the 1060 and RX 580 are minimum, my inclination, and this isn't confirmed, this is my speculation, is that this is for medium at 1080p at 30 frames per second. 30 to 40 frames per second. I just find it hard to believe that a 1060 is going to be able to push a game like this at medium 1080p at 60 FPS. I would love to be wrong, but that is my interpretation of it, given, just understanding the power level of a 1060 comparable to what it, comparable to current gen consoles as well. Feel like 1080p 30 FPS. Recommended, you're looking at high at 1080p, an RTX 2060 or a Radeon RX 5700 XT, 16 gigabytes of memory as well, so nothing too crazy. This is not maxed out, however. There is a setting above high, that being very high, so this is high at 1080p. Really, just the same as the minimum medium, instead it's at high. Same resolution. And it looks like going up to high is going to cause quite a bit more power to be necessary. And then you have the highest tier as far as non-ray tracing goes. Ultra is very high at 4K, Core i7 9700 or a Ryzen 5 5500, an RTX 4070 or an RX 7800 XT. A 4070 is quite beefy, but that's at 4K resolution. If you're playing this game at 1440p, it's obviously going to be a little bit different. VRAM 12 gigabytes because, that's just what they're outlining, and system RAM is 32 gigabytes. Unfortunate as far as 10 gigabyte video cards and how they're going to be able to do at 4K. It'll be interesting to monitor that. RAM being at 32 gigabytes for this Ultra setting, find that quite surprising as well. But yeah, that's gonna be, fairly difficult to run. I should also note 130 gigabytes is the storage size that the game is noting. Probably gonna be a little bit less than that, but they outline 130 gigabytes. Then we have the settings that I'm happy that they have it. At this point for higher end games, I do feel like most people just turn ray tracing off, but you know what? If you want ray tracing on, at least they're gonna tell you what you're gonna need. Medium at 1080p, this is minimum ray tracing. Medium at 1080p, ray tracing set to low. You're looking at an i5 9400 and a Ryzen 5 1600 and RTX 3060. So just by putting on ray tracing low, you're jumping from a 1060 to a 3060. And obviously, given that, ray tracing is on, that makes sense. But yeah, there you go with that. 8 gigs of VRAM, 16 gigabytes of system memory. Then recommended is, it's still medium settings. What they're outlining is recommended is medium settings, 1080p, ray tracing set to medium. Remember, recommended for ray tracing off settings was set to high. Recommended here is medium, ray tracing medium. Core i7 9700, Ryzen 5 5500, and an RTX 4060. That is still set to medium, you guys. Remember that. That's a very important caveat for the ray tracing requirements for recommended. And you're still looking at 16 gigs of RAM. And then, for those of you with FU money, for those of you that don't give a damn, and your PC is what I would call a NASA PC, some people may disagree, but high at 4K, ray tracing set to very high. Once again, if you compare the Ultra tier for non-ray tracing requirements, it's set to very high. Here, Ultra is set to high with ray tracing at very high. That means there is a tier above this where it would be set to very high settings and ray tracing set to very high. And I don't even want to think about what kind of PC you need to run that. Brothers, buckle up if you want to run the game at very high and ray tracing very high. But for the sake of this video, what's outlined at high and ray tracing at very high is a Core i7 9700, Ryzen 5 5500, GeForce RTX 4080 Super, 16 gigs of VRAM, and 32 gigabytes of system memory as well. My oh my, that is an absolute monster, a behemoth of a PC that is going to be required for that. And again, that isn't the absolute highest settings that we could go. We could go very high, ray tracing very high, so that's pretty interesting as well. They also know the above specifications were tested with DLSS, FSR, XeSS all enabled, so interesting there as well. But that'll do it for me. Again, this is a game a lot of you guys are excited for. You look at the Steam charts, and this game has launched up as far as how it's selling, and people, myself included, are incredibly excited. If you do want the game a little bit cheaper, CD Keys is the spot to go. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.